Hey everybody, Evan here with AttunedMusician.com. Today we're going to be answering the question, how tight should your cymbals be? Stay tuned. Hey, what's up everybody? Evan here. Welcome to my first video here on this channel. Go ahead and press that subscribe button, smash the like button. Also turn on your notifications to make sure that you are notified when we start uploading more videos. So today we're going to be answering the question, how tight should your cymbals be? Now there are really four factors to look at when it comes to how tight they should be. The first is the size and the weight of the cymbal. The second is what style of music do you play? How hard of a hitter are you as a drummer? Third is your cymbal angle. How angled is your cymbal on the cymbal stand? And then the fourth is proximity. How close are you to the cymbal? Now let's jump behind the kit and I'm going to give you a brief little summary of what you should be looking at to determine that question of how tight your cymbal should be.
Okay, so the first thing we're looking at is the size and weight of the cymbal. This cymbal is a 17-inch thin crash. This one is a 20-inch heavy crash ride. So obviously this one is lighter. It's going to move around more. This one's heavier. It's still going to move around, but not quite as much. Now let's take off the wing nut on both cymbals. And as you can see, moves around a lot more without those, which is honestly a no-go. Okay, the second factor was the style of music and how hard you're hitting. So for the sake of this example, we're just doing a basic rock beat with the wing nuts back on. So as you can see, the cymbals move around a few inches. It's not too bad, but it's good to have the security of those wing nuts on the cymbals. Okay, the second example is the same exact thing I just did, but without the wing nuts. So as you can see, the cymbals do move around a little more. Now bear in mind, rock music, you typically hit harder all around. So I've personally played rock music without wing nuts on, and I would not recommend cymbals move around on you a lot. So next here, we're going to be playing some harder rock without the wing nuts. As you can see, moves around a little more. And a lot of this also has to do with what we talk about in terms of proximity, so just how close the cymbals are to you. So same exact style as I just played, however, we put the wing nuts back on. Now the cymbals are still going to move on you, but it's a much more predictable movement, and as I keep mentioning, you have the wing nuts there to secure the cymbals in place, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, so here we are again with the wing nuts off the cymbals, and I wanted to provide a little different point of reference. So I'm playing a jazz beat here. So as you notice, not as much of an issue. Traditionally, jazz drummers don't hit as hard as hard rock or rock drummers, specifically for that genre. Now, this can be subjective, obviously, if you're soloing or doing a lot of fills and the dynamics pick up. Now here is that same rock beat as earlier, but a little softer. Okay, so here we are with the cymbal angled a little bit, doing that hard rock beat. And even with the wing nut on, this is almost too angled. Now you want your cymbals a little angled. It's good for the edges. You don't want them completely flat when you're sitting behind the kit. So here we go, without the wing nut. And once again, just not as predictable with the movements of the cymbal. This is especially true for smaller splash cymbals, which can fly off the cymbal stand, which I've had happen, and it's not a fun thing. Okay, so the last factor I had discussed was proximity. So I moved the cymbal a little closer, kept the angle, did a different beat, but as you can tell when I hit that crash, it does have a sort of an unpredictable movement. Now here with the wing nut back on doing that same beat, it's still going to move around a lot because it is closer to you. However, you don't have to worry about the cymbal flying off the stand, and especially for smaller cymbals, like splashes, which has happened personally to me without a wing nut on the stand, and it's not fun. Okay, so here I am doing that same beat. However, the cymbal is less angled than it was. And the reason I keep adjusting the angle is to show you that in the end, it is all personal preference and everything can be subjective. So it's just what makes you the most comfortable when you sit behind the drum kit and play. Now that same beat without the wing nut.
Hey guys, interrupting this video real quick. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Turn on your bell notifications so that you get notified every time we upload a video with insider tips here, and also comment. All right, back to the video.
So here I am with the wing nut off the cymbal and just hitting the crash and doing a little sporadic beat to show you how much it does in fact move around. And you could also probably argue that the less a cymbal is angled, the more it'll move around without the wing nut, and I can totally understand that. However, I think if it's too angled, you're not going to be able to get precise hits when you try to go to crash. So here is that same little sporadic beat again, but with the wing nut on. The whole point is to show you what the wing nut actually does. So lastly, I did want to talk about the top hi-hat. And as you can see here, it's loose on that clutch, not as secure. And I've lowered the volume, but when you drum, you can hear almost an extra note when you're trying to keep time with that left foot or right foot, whichever specific way you play, but on the hi-hat. And it really sort of feels like a delay. Now, there's also a thing called hi-hat slosh, which works fantastically with a loose top hi-hat. I also wanted to show you the top hi-hat tightened. Now, with this, you're not going to get as much slosh, but you'll get more pronounced hi-hat chicks when you're keeping time with your foot. One other note I wanted to add is sometimes the top hi-hat can actually come off the clutch, which can definitely happen when it's too loose, but also even when it's tighter. So something to look out for. Now here's the lack of slosh that I mentioned because that top hi-hat is now so tight on the clutch. And you can tell when I open it, when I open the hi-hat, the top hat is not even moving. Now, I did want to mention also that if your cymbals are too tight, it can affect the sound in a negative way to where it muffles it and your sound's taken away. But that is it, folks.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that bell notification so that you are notified every single time we post a video with insider tips, tricks, gear, and whatever else it may be. Also, be sure to check out my recommended gear and resources at attunemusician.com. The link is down below in the description. Thank you so much.